Sports Talk Show on radio. Welcome. We are on from now till 3 p.m. Show is proudly sponsored by Petrosol. And we've got quite a lot for you today on the show in the next 2 hours, of course. Talking lots of things, Black Stars. And the Ghana Football Association has finally issued an apology, of course, to the Ghanaian people. But was it too little, too late? Andre Ayew also followed up with an apology on the same day. But is that really enough? The GFA's first statement says the Ghana Black Stars got booted out of the competition, said that they were going to take some necessary steps to address the issues that led to the poor performance. But no specific mention of what those issues really are. And so we're asking the question whether you are satisfied with that apology. Do you forgive them? And the search for the new coach is moving into its second week. We will look at what the requirements are and what the objectives for the second week are and see which people have applied for the job already. I have on authority a number of names that have applied for the Black Stars job. Hopefully, I will reveal some of those names and let you know whether you have a bit of an excitement about any of those names. Then there is the issue of the Africa Games, which is taking place in 36 days. I have been nosing around a lot, and it's our job to bring you up to speed with what preparations have been like. And a lot of the attention obviously has been on the facilities and infrastructure. But when you go deeper, that is probably the least of our problems, potentially. Now, the organization potentially could be our biggest challenge. And then quality participation, those two. How many medals could we potentially win? Yesterday, the minister was at Cape Coast, where Team Ghana is camping. And he addressed some of the athletes. If you followed, you will see some of the videos that we've been sharing on our networks. And, some of the athletes there look exactly like Danny Kaye, giving me the impression that we all can win and can represent the country. Lots of you asking me how and why you didn't sign up. The taekwondo and the karate and you saw lots of like Ashaman Shifu and so we'll talk a bit of Africa Games as well. And then we will conclude by talking Jurgen Klopp, his legacy at Liverpool, and who could potentially or should potentially replace him. Chelsea is still going around in circles. Man United looked like they had a performance to remember or to kickstart their season. This weekend, Arsenal and Man United in the Premier League as well. It's a big game. So there is that towards the end of the show. Sadiq Adams will be our guest here today. He'll be joining us to talk about all issues, Black Stars budget, and the planned demonstration by a group of Ghanaian journalists against the Ghana Football Association. So we'll put all the issues into perspective for you. This week has been really hot with Black Stars budgetary issues. Akujeta Blakwa versus Oduro Safo and Achi. It almost looks like lots of them are not happy with his revelation on the Black Stars budget. 8.5 million is how much the Ghana Football Association and Ministry of Youth and Sports had planned to spend at this AFCON. It's raised eyebrows, mostly because they have been very stubborn in making that public. They refused to disclose the Black Stars budget before the tournament, despite consistent questions from the media. It took a Blackwell to leak that. Why should that be the case? And then after the Honorable Okujeta Blakwa revealed how much we had intended to spend, and even more worrying, how much had already been paid to them, now we have questions about how much was actually spent. And these are necessary questions because the Black Stars wanted to go to South Africa for pre-tournament camp simply because we don't have infrastructure. So we have all this money to give the national team. Why aren't we using that to develop infrastructure that could go to benefit youth national teams, build technical centers, and ultimately stop the team from consistently using hotels and going abroad for camping? So the money is there. Why aren't we using it and investing it where we could save a lot of money going into the future? So there are necessary questions. This is not one of those things where people like to trivialize the matters and say, okay, now because it became obvious, there are NDC people, you have a history of always sending and approving of bloated budgets. And it's NDC, it's MPP. You are going to spend 8.5 million. Why must we always go the partisan lines when it comes to these issues? Nobody wants to tackle the actual issue. So after Akujita Blackwell's revelation, obviously the first person to respond was Nana Odro-Safo, who is a Ghana Football Association Executive Council member. And he urged Akujita Blackwell to stop engaging in what he called cheap political commentary and focus on enacting laws.
Until nobody goes into AFCON for prize money, you participate to win lorries. You win it 4 times, you win it 8 times, you win it 7 times. That is a priority. On concentrating, you won't pass the bills na young small cheap politics on football. So you can't government why you the Australian budgets for AFCON NDC.
That's Odro-Safo, obviously. Ablakwa said that the budget wasn't approved even before the Ministry of Finance started to pay the money.
You cannot go and engage in public expenditure without parliamentary approval. The law is very clear. You must submit these budgets to Parliament and get an approval before you go and spend. I mean, it doesn't happen anywhere. We kept insisting that bring your budget. They refused. Then your colleagues in the media, particularly the sports journalists, time without number, kept pushing them. Where is the budget? We want to know. They will not disclose.
All right, so that's that. He also says that the moment Parliament resumes sitting on Tuesday, they will file a motion. He will file a motion to have the sports minister investigated.
The level of financial recklessness. That is why I insist that there ought to be a full-scale parliamentary probe. And when the House resumes, we are going to file a motion for a full-scale parliamentary inquiry. And all those ministers and public officials, including those at the FA, who think that they should rather insult me instead of accounting to the Ghanaian people on the thought processes that went into coming up with this budget and why they will, at this time of unprecedented economic crisis, come up with this staggering amount of $8.5 million. They should know that all of them will be made to account and there will be sanctions. It is just a matter of time.
That's the Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, Member of Parliament for North Tongue. Teacher for Flavor Stream, Daniel Koranteng are in here with me. Gary Al Smith, Sadiq Adams will be joining me shortly, as well as Muftawu Nabila Abdullah. Guys, welcome to the show.
My guy.
MLS 0.
Yesterday,
Saudi Pro League 6.
There was a big game.
Yeah.
Big friendly match.
The biggest game of the year so far.
Inter Miami
Between the two
and
ambassadors.
yes,
Yeah.
Al Nassr versus Inter Miami.
Yes.
It ended Al Nassr 6.
Yes.
Inter Miami 0.
Yes.
0.
Messi played 4 minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Relax.
Ronaldo didn't play at all.
Not at all.
He
Busquets,
was not
Busquets
required.
played. Jordi Alba played.
Interesting.
Their best players played.
Yeah. No, hala. But you guys good?
Oh, we are very good.
Yeah.
There is also the small matter of this particular apology. And when I saw it, the comments under the post, lots of people asking or calling for him to retire. Listen to this man, captain of the Black Stars, Andre Morgan Rami Dede Ayew.
I would like to apologize for the results in the AFCON that we just exited. We know that we should have done better, that we should have brought better results to the nation. As the captain of the squad, I take full responsibility for what happened on the pitch, for the playing body, and what doesn't kill you always make you become a stronger person individually and collectively. We are Ghana. We are never going to give up. We are going to rise and shine again, and may God bless our homeland, Ghana.
We'll rise again. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We are Ghana, and we'll rise again. That's Sunday the day Ayew. His apology came on the same of the GFA apology and what have you. Let's quickly touch on that issue because it's a very touchy issue. Let me put it that way. Very sensitive in the way people analyze it. Lots of people, I think on the day the apology came, I did a show on TV. And when the video came out, people called me hypocritical for not outright telling the Ayew to retire. Then I told them, it's not my job to tell him to retire. I cannot do that. I cannot tell the Ayew to retire. From the national team in particular. I cannot do that. It's his decision. And what can happen, though, is that national team coaches can't stop calling him. But that will also be up to them. I can only tell you what I think he cannot do for the national team. And that would be my opinion. What he doesn't do for the national team, that would be my opinion. Why I think we should move away from him, that would be my opinion. And I can tell you that we need to move away from him, that we need to make a progress, take a step forward without him, or that we need to have him going forward. Those are my opinions, but I cannot tell him to retire. I can't give him that order. So then the question is back here. How do we fix the Ayew conundrum? And I bring this up because of the massive interest I have seen since he released that video apology. Otherwise, we would not even be discussing this issue. But the commentary after the video came out, huge.
Well, friends, I think I'll back you when you say that it is not up to anybody, no Ghanaian, to tell the Ayew when to retire or when not to. It is a matter of if he's needed by the technical handlers of the team. If you like, the coach of whoever the coach is, when the next assignment is around the corner. There are thousands of Ghanaian footballers around the world. Some in the Ghana Premier League, some playing elsewhere. It is only when they are invited that they get to the camp. I remember before the AFCON, we were having this whole conversation about should Lamptey be part of the squad, should Salif Ibrahim, should many other players in the Ghana Premier League be around the team. Salif Ibrahim didn't jump onto the plane to Cote d'Ivoire, but Lamptey did. And the only reason why Lamptey got there was because he was given a call-up. So the simple matter of, and when we went for that USA tour, the captain the day Ayew wasn't part of the squad because he wasn't named in the squad. It wasn't named in the squad, so he couldn't go. So it's a matter of if technical handlers want to move on from Dede Ayew. But why would they want to move on from him if he's still delivering at a competitive level? I think what makes this issue even worse for the captain is that throughout the AFCON, he wasn't playing any active football. He had only played about 35 minutes, 36 minutes of top flight football. So it was so easy for people to ask the questions about why he was included. And on the back of the poor performances that we saw, with the storylines along some of the substitutions we saw with Dede coming into the game together with two other players in the game against Cape Verde, which took the steam away from our game. And also when he came on 45 minutes after we were leading against Mozambique, which we didn't see enough of him in attack. It's actually giving a lot of fire to the whole commentary around the Ayew's retirement or otherwise. But the bottom line is simple. It comes down to the player himself. If the Ayew says that I don't want to play the Black Stars anymore, I think I've given enough to the country, which he has. So I'm calling it a quit. That is fine.
Should he? Should he?
No, he shouldn't.
He shouldn't?
No.
He shouldn't retire from the national team?
The Black Stars is a free money-making machine. Why would any reasonable player retire from the Black Stars?
But I have a question. Do you think that the Ayew continuously needs this Black Stars money?
Yes, I think he does. Everybody needs money.
That's fair enough.
It's free money. You've not kicked the ball, you're giving 20,000. You can lose games and draw games by heart and scrape through your group and earn 30,000. It is free money.
That's right.
Nobody can convince me the players don't. Otherwise, they should tell us this when they play, they don't need the money, so should go. The GF should use for charity work. They take it. They take the money.
Well, should they play for free?
No. Do they need the money?
You just said they all need the money.
They all need it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But
I'm saying that why shouldn't they take it if they need it? That's my point. No, but it's beside the issue, really.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, no, no reasonable player has to retire from the Black Stars if you're eligible to play.
That's fair.
One, it's through the Black Stars. It enhances your profile. You can win. You're going to tournaments. Every player dreams of playing the tournament. You're making free money for no work done, if you like, at times. So you don't have to retire. It's not a must. But the point is his presence and aura around the team in 2024 helpful? Only the technical team can answer that. But the key thing is, he's Ghanaian, he's an international. If he plays well in his club and he is performing, then nobody has any reason or whatsoever to question why he's included. Has he been performing proud to the AFCON? No. Should he have been at the AFCON? Maybe not. But if he plays well for his club this year, should he be in Morocco if he has not retired? Maybe yes. Unless the coach says that irrespective of how the captain, the Ayew plays, he wants to move on from the player, we can't question that. And that is why, for me, the whole commentary about tell him to retire is neither here nor there. No, the person at home, you are home, go onto your social media and tell him to retire and see if he does that. Do I think we need him? I don't think so. Should we move on from him? I think so. Is that the reality? No.
Why is it not a reality?
Because
why can't it happen?
I'm not saying it can't happen. Is it ideal that he moves on? Yes. Is it ideal that we give others the opportunity from my viewpoint? Yes. Is that the reality now? The reality is no, he hasn't retired. He's eligible to be called. So there are two different things here. Yes.
But then you just suggested that ideally you think he should.
It's my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he should move on.
So you think he should retire?
I think he should retire, or he should
make himself unavailable for selection.
No, I think it's two things. Is that he retires or the country moves away from him by not calling him. How many players in Africa retire anyway?
Okay, so the conclusion from your submission is that at the moment, the national team should do without the Ayew.
Yeah, should move on without.
Okay, that's a fair. I just needed to establish that.
Daniel, he's becoming a distraction.
Okay, fair enough.
If I was head coach, I would not select him. That is facts. I think we have enough gifted young players who can take this team forward. So personally, I would not select Andre Ayew. But should he be forced to retire, I don't think it makes sense. At least from where I sit, especially in the context of the Black Stars. If you look at the big legendary players who have played for us over the past 15, 20 years, how many of them retired before they stopped being called? We stopped calling John Mensah long before he officially announced his retirement. We stopped calling Baby Jet long before even Sule Muntari, if you remember, in 2020 when he came back to Hearts of Oak for that 6-month spell.
He hadn't retired yet.
He hadn't retired, and he was still available for call-up. Yet
there was a clamor that he recorded.
Yet we saw it as jokes because we knew that, come on, the guy was past it, so obviously he was not going to make a call-up and make the team. So is it necessary that Dede must retire before we can start calling him? No. The power of call-ups lies with the technical team. They decide who is called up and they decide who is not called up. If they don't think, and I'll just give you this typical example. If I'm a 25-year-old Ghanaian player, I've been playing my football for the past 8 years, and I've not received the Black Stars call-up, and I've been told by the technical team or the current technical team that I'm not part of their plans, should I retire?
Exactly. No, exactly.
I don't need to retire. But am I making the team? No, because they are not calling me. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So even if the day is 45 and he says he will not retire, it is up to us to stop calling him if we deem his contributions to the national team surplus to requirements. So it's on the technical team. It's as simple as that. You don't need to force somebody into retirement because you don't think he should be making call-ups. That is down to the technical team, and that is why I would hold the technical team responsible for his performances also. Because if everybody can see that, yes, he's sort of dragging the team back, if they say his aura around the national team is causing problems or is causing issues, and you consistently call him and then you consistently field him and we see the bad results, then you are responsible for it. Because I don't know if I am wrong, but Andre Ayew wasn't selected for the USA tour, or
he was not.
But he played.
No, he didn't.
He did
Oh,
not.
he didn't play against USA.
He wasn't on the
We
jet.
played and we lost 4-0 and 2-0.
No, but I'm saying he played.
No, he didn't play.
He didn't play.
The
He
Mexico-
wasn't selected. So
The
he
Mexico
didn't
game
play.
too, he didn't play.
He wasn't selected, so he didn't play.
So he didn't show up at all.
He didn't show up at
So
all.
it is possible.
It is doable.
So then why should he retire?
Good question.
Fentuo, one last point on the money thing. If the Black Stars need the money or not. If they didn't need the money, right? Why is that anytime there's a conversation about reducing how much money they will be taking for appearance fee,
Yeah.
there are negotiations, and the players want to keep it at that or they want increment. Bro, they need the money, and I'm saying that the culture of the Black Stars is one that doesn't make sense for anybody to retire. But on the GFA's apology, have you touched on that?
No, go on.
Do you believe anything you read in that apology?
I don't believe anything this
Okay.
FA says.
So let me just pick a paragraph. I think on paragraph, I think the second paragraph, it says that, all right, following a meeting with the Executive Council of the Association and the Chairman of the RFAs on Tuesday, January 30, 2024, the GFA wishes to assure all stakeholders, you included, that requisite steps are being taken to address the issues at hand, and a thorough review of the team's strategy, training, compensation, overall structure is underway. They added this to the apology. There is an FA that prior to the apology had already sacked the coach
Yes.
without the thorough review. They had already put in place a plan to replace the coach without the review of the team strategies. My thinking is, if you
So
start, how do you start looking for a coach before the plans? No, listen.
Because this meeting and these plans were put in place after
How do you start looking for a coach with your own criteria before the plan
and the
thorough review of strategy? So it's like they write things and throw it out there and expect us to assimilate it. Like
you
telling us,
suggesting that it's ChatGPT.
oh, ChatGPT something. It's just like they did with just like they did with the criteria, where they wrote that the head coach, one of the criterion was that the head coach should be able to train and develop
You should have a history of
rebuilding and developing young talents. And I was asking, since when did it become Gary Southgate's duty to develop young talents? Where is the under 17 and under 20 coaches doing with the national? Is that his job? At the senior national team level,
supervisory eye there. Why not?
no, but they should have stated that then his criteria should be somebody who is able to also supervise the. No, but if you don't add that, you can't tell the head
That's
coach.
not even his
It's not his job,
That's
bro.
the job of the technical director.
His job is to deliver results at the top level.
At the top level. So I'm saying that this GFA, this apology, and the timing of it even makes it worse, because when you've allowed, after 8 days, right,
And constant public pressure.
before you throw this apology up with an inconsistent paragraph that you're going to have a thorough review, but before the review you're already picking a coach who might not sit in the plan that you claim you are going to have a thorough review on team strategy and overall structure.
Because what if you do the thorough review and then adapt all these new strategies, but you've already hired a coach who doesn't fit?
How?
What happens?
Otherwise, you have to hire a coach and force your review and strategy to align with the coach. What kind of FA is this?
Very inconsistent. You've established the point. Muftawu Nabila Abdullah is here. Muftawu,
I want to disagree with Sicho.
not disagree there. I
Please
wanted
don't.
to ask you a
Oh,
I like
question.
to disagree.
No,
Okay.
different opinion.
All right,
Elaborate.
go on. I wanted to ask you about.
Any coach at all that you hire, that coach is supposed to go by your plans you've got for your football. So you've got your plan. You go into the market to look for someone who fits into your plan.
Now, Sicho is saying
I'm
they
sorry,
don't
you
have the
listen to me,
plan.
crowd.
They don't have
No,
the plan.
so Sicho is
No,
saying that they
I've
said they are
listened to
now they are now going to
They are
develop the
going
plan.
to develop the plan.
But
They will
before that, they would have already hired a coach.
no, they've not told us when they are going to finish all these.
They said in 3 weeks, or you didn't say?
In 3 weeks.
And we are in the second week already.
In 3 weeks they are hiring a coach, right? But when they are going to finish with their review and put together those plans, they do not tell us when they are going to
That
finish.
would take longer,
No.
presumably.
No,
Muftawu.
they can tell us that Monday they are ready.
Muftawu, did you hear
No,
what? Did you,
Sicho,
did you,
that's
no,
clear the
I'm,
point.
I'm asking you a question. Did you read the word they use? A thorough review.
A thorough review, yes.
Hang on. A thorough review.
Yes.
And that communication came in this week.
Are you aware if the technical team has submitted their technical reports or not?
Randy
No.
Abe says they don't need one. Did you listen to him on Good Morning Ghana?
No.
He said they do not need a technical report from this technical team. That's his suggestion.
That is his opinion. His opinion does not represent the entire executive council.
Fair enough. But he said it, and he's giving us an idea of where his mind is and what his position would be.
And I'm also privileged to be in a position where the technical team members have actually put together their report. They are working on it as well. It is ready to be submitted or not. So Randy,
they are working on it or they submitted it. They are two different things.
It's neither here nor there.
No, they are working on it or they've submitted it.
I cannot be categorical because if I'm too categorical, you know what that means. So I'm not going.
You're not revealing your source.
No.
But if they have submitted
what I'm just saying is that as of a week ago, it wasn't ready. Yes. But it was in the process of being ready.
Okay.
Yes.
So you don't have an update as to whether that was finalized and set.
Like I said, if the FA asks for the copy, that copy will be made available.
Fair enough. But where are we with?
I want to ask. Before you go, so
let's move it on.
I want to ask something. I just want the week one. What are they supposed to do with the coaches week one?
They're supposed to put the criteria together.
No, the criteria was already out.
No, not that. Like finalize their own. Let me give you the timelines. Okay?
Just want something on that.
Let's see. Just a second.
Yeah.
These are the timelines they gave themselves to get the coach ready. Week 1 was to search for the search committee to commence work. Then criteria and scorecard validation.
Okay, so that one should be done by now.
That is done because we are past week 1.
Right.
They are in week 2. This is where the search committee finalizes their work and then report to the ESCO. The ESCO then reviews the report they've made and make recommendation to the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
The week ends today. The working week ends today. So they should
then
be
official announcement of head coach of the. Okay, no, that's week 3. Sorry, week 2 is. I beg your pardon. Forgive me. Week 2 is score and shortlist candidates plus interviews.
No, it does.
So week 2.
So
we are in week 2.
Yes, please.
And those who are interested in the coaching job are supposed to submit their applications by 11:59 p.m. today.
And then they're supposed to score and shortlist them.
So they will score and shortlist them,
and then
maybe
they'll
from
conduct
next
interviews.
Week. And maybe from next week. They'll just shortlist like 3 or 4 or 5 people. They don't need many. So conducting the interviews, it needs just a day. 2017, it took them 2 hours to interview 3 coaches for the Black Stars coaching job.
That's why we are where we are.
Don't
be proud about that. That's why we are where we are.
No. So the Black Stars coaching job, how many hours do you intend to
3 coaches in 2 hours.
Yes.
Fent, listen to this. Listen to this. If
yes,
you are supposed to shortlist candidates and interview in week 2, we are in week 2.
We are in week 2. The week is ending, yes.
The apology came this week.
Yes.
On
that
Tuesday.
they are doing a thorough review, blah blah, going to put together. You are telling me that as at last week,
when they were doing the scorecard,
when they were doing the the technical report was being prepared. Then such points make sense.
No, but Danny, do you also recall that after releasing this statement, the FA followed up with another statement that says that they have up till Friday, February 2, for coaches who are interested in the job to apply.
That's besides what we are talking about.
Yes, but that also suggests that the initial position of the GFA, which was week 1, we want to do ABC, and week 2 we have to shortlist the coaches. It doesn't.
You're saying they reviewed it.
No, how do you?
It's probably reviewed.
No, it's
not. It doesn't hold it up.
Okay.
It's not about the shout.
I beg your pardon.
February 2, 11:59 p.m.
We are going around in circles. Let me straighten this conversation. Where are we with the coaching session? Any updates?
No.
So you don't know if anybody. Today's the deadline. Do you know if anyone who has applied?
I'm aware people.
Because you were the one who first broke the story of Jürgen Kohler, and you went on Wikipedia to edit and make him blast out.
I don't have.
No, Muftawu didn't do that. I
don't have access.
It was just Wikipedia. A joke.
In fact,
but you broke that story.
Yeah, I'm not a technical person to actually tell.
Is he the only one you know who has applied?
Oh, I've heard many names out there, but the only name that I can speak to with all certainty is Jürgen Kohler, where I was made to understand that a member of the search committee spoke to him about the Black Stars coaching job.
Is that headhunting or him applying?
Having spoken to him, he submitted an application. So sometimes some of these things, you just need to tell the person, Fentuo, there's a vacancy here, bring your application letter. That's all.
That sounds more like headhunting rather than...
He's not qualified.
Muftawu, wait to somebody from the search committee placed the call.
Yes.
Did that person read the criteria that was given to him for the search because he doesn't fit.
He doesn't fit at all.
Wait, okay, question.
Someone
No.
within the search committee,
Muftawu.
and the person doesn't know the criteria.
But if you
No,
need
you're
the
not-
does he qualify?
Qualify.
Guys, quiet. The
I'm
way
asking
you-
a critical question here.
Quiet, please.
No.
No,
Don't laugh.
I know. I'm
Laughing matter.
coming to
We
you.
have to be
Just
serious.
quiet.
Charlie.
All right, quiet. You are saying
Yes.
that Jürgen Kohler, in your opinion,
No, not in my opinion. Factual.
per the criteria
Yes.
Does
submitted
not
by
qualify.
the GFA,
He doesn't qualify.
How? Let's go
He has
through.
not won anything.
So there's no proven record
the
of winning.
first criteria, the first point was for a winner. For us to get a winner at the men's game.
Listen,
So he
must
doesn't
hold
have-
the highest foot. Where is it?
The first
head
point.
coach should be proven winner in top men's national team or club football. His last job at the elite level was in 2006 in the Bundesliga. Since then, he has not coached any team
elite team.
at an elite level.
How does
Not
someone
one.
in a search-
He's been coaching teams from the 6th tier, 5th tier, 3rd tier of German football. He does not qualify. Simple.
How does
What are
somebody
you
from the
talking
search
about?
committee, Danny, somebody from the search committee, read the first point to the criteria, pick a phone call and call the man who doesn't fit the first points?
So you're saying that if that happened, then the church committee people don't know what they are doing.
Of course. Of course.
You see this thing.
No, Muftawu, you're not laughing.
It's critical thinking.
Yeah,
It's critical
but things are subject.
It's critical
Like
thinking.
you can go out there and say, "I need a proven winner as a coach," but you get a very young coach who is extremely hungry and can change the.
So
He's
put
not
that to
young.
the criteria.
So
Jürgen Kohler is
decide
not
to-
a young man.
No, it's their prerogative to review it and either choose to tell us publicly or not.
Or when they review, they should tell us because they told us earlier.
Alright.
What do you mean they shouldn't tell us?
Fair enough. Sicho and Daniel, your point is well made. We've seen where the dissonance is, because the action is not conforming with the laid down procedure or criteria.
And that
Fair
is
enough.
typical.
Back to Muftawu. So you said the only name you know for a fact is Jürgen Kohler.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Nobody
Uh,
else.
No.
Okay.
The other names I've seen are media reports that no source has given
Okay,
to.
I
me, so
can confirm that Maxwell Kunedu has also put in his application for the job.
He doesn't qualify.
What do you mean he doesn't qualify? He
Does
has
he have-
no
does he have pro license?
the
It's-
highest
it's-
license in
No, the highest,
oh.
highest license. He didn't specify which region. He said the highest.
Yes,
No,
but it's
I'm serious. Let's not joke.
Daniel,
The FA keeps writing. Hold
Daniel,
on.
go back.
Hold on.
No, I'm
Muftawu,
saying
hold on.
go back
Muftawu,
to
hold
the
on.
Okay, let's not do this.
Muftawu, hold on.
One person at a time.
Yes, hold
so
on.
when one person is talking, let them finish.
The
I beg
GFA
you people.
keeps writing English, and we don't interrogate the things they write. How does Maxwell Kunedu even look at that criteria and apply?
Okay, let's go by it. First point: proven winner in men's top football. He's a league winner with Kotoko. He's a league winner with Kotoko.
He won what?
He won Wafu,
He won Wafu.
but he doesn't have the highest coaching license.
In the world.
In the
He
world.
must hold
It's
the
a pro
highest
license.
football license in the world
doesn't
with 50
qualify.
years of football experience
Okay,
in
you
the
know
world.
what? You know what? I will have to ask Maxwell Kunedu if he has a pro license.
Boss,
Until then,
Boss,
hold on.
boss, but you know why are you doing this to
I
us?
said until then, we can move it on. Okay. So the 15 years he qualifies. Proving men's winner, he qualifies. The pro license to highest qualification in the coaching. His coach is pro license. I'll ask him. I'm sure Maxwell has done the pro license or taking online classes.
Which other name do you have?
Either way.
Look, I want to show you that the criteria.
sometimes,
The coaches that could qualify, they are like
Like 6
they are like bro. I'm telling you,
You're saying we've
it
oversold
is-
ourselves.
It is bogus,
Okay, fair enough.
not realistic.
Muftawu, let's go to another conversation. And this is extremely important. The GFA, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they are under fire for the revelation of the budgetary figures that they presented to the Ministry of Finance ahead of the tournament. Obviously, we are all educated and everybody understands that a budget is not the same as expenditure or money expended. But the questions people have raised is that why do we consistently, and this is not just a one ministry or one government issue, why do we consistently present such amounts for competitions when in the absence of the competitions we have never seen an actual budget that is not linked to the Black Stars submitted to the Ministry of Finance, asking them, for example, for resources for basic sports infrastructural development. When it is the Black Stars, they are more than willing to put that budget together. And then the ministry also is more than willing to quickly approve it. But anything else, we've never seen the budget. Muftawu, you and I, we've been covering this sport for a long time. The only time budget becomes an issue is when it involves Black Stars. But we have so many other pressing issues, and yet we've never seen any budget prepared by anyone to try and address any of those issues. What is it with the Black Star? And I'm not by that saying don't spend money with the Black Star. I'm saying, why is it that is the only thing we spend money on?
I don't think that is the only thing we spend money on.
That's the only thing certainly we raise a budget for.
We raise budgets for our participation in Olympic Games, in Commonwealth Games, all African Games, and all those. It's just that those budgets are not as humongous as the one we have when it comes to the Black Stars. But every other competition we go to, definitely we need money to be able to go and compete. You asked a question about infrastructure, and that is actually an area I think lies squarely before the Ministry of Youth and Sports. That one, you don't need a Ghana Football Association to come and tell you that you need to give us infrastructure for the development of sporting talents in Ghana. It is the Ministry of Youth and Sport. In fact, it's youth and sports. So everything is under the umbrella of the sports ministry. So I think that it's critical that they begin to look beyond just raising budgets when it comes to the national teams going out there to compete, and also consider structures that would help the development of sports in general in the country, like we saw from Isaac Isiama when his office decided that they needed to construct multi-purpose courts across the country.
Which, by the way, lie uncompleted because of lack of finances.
Some of them. And in fact, that money is supposed to come from the Assembly's Common Fund. Unfortunately, the monies are not coming. I remember the last conversation we had.
You know where the District Assembly's Common Fund comes from?
In fact, I wrote to the District Assembly's Common Fund, and fortunately I got information. In fact, that was around the same time I wrote to the National Youth Authority, and they also sent me details of how much has been expended on those facilities and all that. I didn't ask when they were going to complete those facilities, but they did give me an idea about how much they were spending on each of the multipurpose turfs that they were constructing across the country. I think that the Ministry of Youth and Sports, trust me, I'm not sure they've been too fair to many young talents in the country, because I feel that the pyramid has been inverted, where we pump the money at the topmost level, which is the Black Stars, and rather deny those at the grassroots level. It is important that these infrastructure are made available. I also think that it's about time we also look at these Black Stars and go like, okay, why have we agreed that when it comes to the senior national team, the Black Stars, each player should be given a bonus of, say, $10,000 for a game. But when it comes to other sporting disciplines, like the Black Mambas, are they not Team Ghana as well? Why is that when they win medals, we want to give them like $2,000, $3,000, or $5,000? I think there's a huge gap when it comes to these things. To be able to motivate everyone to compete, because if the Black Stars goes out there and win the African Cup of Nations, in as much as the amount the Black Stars will bring back to the country is not same as, say, a boxer going out there to win a medal, I believe that the kind of reward we give to these players and the reward we give to boxers, athletes for going out there to represent the country and also fly high the flag of Ghana, there's a huge gap. There's a huge disconnect. It's about time that everyone is motivated equally. Even if we think that a boxer don't deserve $10,000 for winning a medal, then we might as well also say that the Black Stars players giving you $10,000 per each game is not fair, because like we saw the media reports out there, if the team had qualified just by virtue of the mathematics we were all drawing with 2 points, let's assume Morocco hadn't beaten Zambia and we qualified, it's still qualification bonus $30,000 to each of the players. What about the boxers?
For a very average performance.
For a very average performance, but they were going to get qualification bonus. Is that fair enough? That's why I believe that the Ministry of Youth and Sports should begin to re-strategize some of these things that would have everyone benefiting. Because, like you mentioned, it appears everything goes up to the Black Stars, where they are ready to raise up huge amount of money for the senior national team. But when it comes to other areas, we hardly
don't seem to find the money. And one question that I ask you, what you thought was the source of the District Assembly's common fund? It's 5% of all non-tax government revenue.
Yes.
There is a percentage of minerals royalties that must go to them. There's a percentage of petroleum revenue that must go to them. All of that money goes to the consolidated fund, where we withdraw the money to sponsor the Black Stars, but we can't get the money from there to go and complete the youth resource centers.
But
the irony is enormous. Sadiq Adams has also joined us here. Oba, this is your first time here since game plan started. Yes,
of course.
Charlie.
You have refused to invite me.
Also refused. We have not refused. We have not refused. Oh, now I are busy. You are too busy. How are you, bro?
I'm fine.
Oh, good.
Juma,
What is happening to Sadiq's mic? Please fix it for me. I beg you. I can barely hear him.
Is that fine?
Yes, it's good now.
Okay. I
Yes.
said Juma Mubarak today.
Yes,
you look
Juma
like
Mubarak
a
to you,
proper
Alaji.
Muslim.
Juma Mubarak. Listen,
He said he looks like a proper Muslim.
can you imagine?
Yeah, say it.
Can you imagine?
You're always in suit.
But I'm a proper one.
Yeah, you are. But you're
I
always
have.
in suit. That's an American Muslim.
I speak the Hausa. I do everything. Okay.
Yeah.
I have the
Apart
looks.
from
Oh, come on for there.
He does everything.
Yeah. Sadiq, but how are you? You've had a very busy last week or so. In fact, not last week. You've had a very busy last 3 weeks, I must say.
A busy last 15 years.
That is true. And there's a whole video of you. You've become a meme. Have you noticed? Have you?
Very unfortunate. And
Sadiq has become a meme.
that was a video taken by Alan Darren, your friend.
Yes.
Because I have been trolling him and Clive that they have attended more AFCONs than their national team. And that's one of the reasons why you go to the media center, and even when your national team is playing, you want to assume the position of a fan.
Yes.
I know a lot of things happen in the stadium and other areas, but they don't get captured on cameras.
Of course.
But there are sometimes emotions, and I have apologized on so many platforms because it is unlike me.
About what happened? About that video?
Because I had done my report of the game. It was 97th minute, and I had just left the media center to the press center. So I was going to pray and rush to the mix zone. So I got down to the last terrace where I will just take the passage.
Which is not where the media stand was.
In fact, it's 4 floors.
Yeah, the media stand is just
4 floors.
4 terraces up. So I had left to rush to and pray because I thought the game was over. So when I was descending, there was an equalizer, the first one. So I stood there for like 2-3 minutes and said, no, this guy should be clearing their lines. This guy should be. Then I came down to take the passage. Then they got the corner kick. And I didn't understand, because you are closer to Ofori.
Of course.
The ball was just miles away from the post. But you don't want to. This is something you want to forget as soon as possible. But I did not even know.
That was your reaction.
I have never been too overly concerned about the Black Stars because I thought Mozambique, Comoros, it was fine. Yeah. Because we were being beaten with 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or at least you'll be able to soak the emotions. If your team is being beaten humiliatingly like Ivory Coast, it's normal. Yeah. The goals will be, when we were in the media center, they will come and say, it is day, thrower. They keep counting. When it's like that, I think it's easy to soak it. But the manner
and last minute
winner conceded was too painful to take.
And now your behavior and the behavior of the Ivorian cameraman has forced CAF to change the rules.
And so many.
And so many.
I'm saying it's very unfortunate. If you are a journalist,
there were some that there were fights in the mix zone.
There have been
it was that bad.
The clashes between journalists in the stands and in the media center. Even for this AFCON.
Actually, the last round of matches, right? Yes. It was between Moroccan journalists and South African journalists.
Of course, there have been so many clashes. A lot of journalists in the media center, even in Ofibwanye Stadium. Wow. There were clashes over seats. And these are things that have a history. Some of these countries like Morocco, South Africa, and others, they have history of this clashes. Nigeria, South Africa,
yes,
they have a history of these clashes. So CAF is aware, and I'm sure that all of them are very unfortunate. And if you are a journalist, everybody is nobody is a saint, and people have wronged in so many areas and aspects of their jobs. You just have to apologize, and it is proper because in 2015 there were clashes in the media stands. Emotions are always high, but it's high time that CAF has come out with these regulations and people will be well managed.
And it's not just an African journalist thing. At the AFC Championships, which is also ongoing, Iraqi journalists, their accreditations have been withdrawn because their team got kicked out and they attacked the coach.
Yeah, someone threw a microphone at the coach.
Yes, the AFC has withdrawn their accreditations and asked them to go home.
Of course.
So, like you said,
in fact, CAF actually said that the media turned the media tribune and press conferences to boxing ring.
And then some of us also said dance floors.
Dance floors.
Yes,
it's AIPS.
Yeah, that statement sounds like it's been written for a Ghanaian by a Ghanaian for the Ghanaian journalist.
But like you are saying, there are so many
instances
of that. They just don't get captured. You remember in 2019 when Nigeria beats Cameroon at the AFCON, there was before the final whistle, there was a whole carnival in the press media
by journalists.
They were just hooting at the Cameroonian journalists, but for the security guys, they could have clashed there. So it's been happening. Just that the cameras do not turn attention to the media and VIP sites mostly. So these are videos taken by colleagues,
of course.
But a lot of things happen, and it is better for the associations and especially AIPS to come out with some of these modalities to guide conduct. It's only proper.
It's essential. Sadiq, let me stay with you since you just got in here. We are on the subject of the Black Stars budget, and this is an issue that has been, it's a revolving issue. It never goes away. Every competition, it happens. This one in particular is very unique because, and you see, it's worthy of reminding listeners that this is not just a one government issue. I remember famously 2015 when media men asked about the budget from Honorable Muhammad Ayarga. He said, and I'm quoting him, ask better questions and let's talk about better things and not this issue of Black Stars budget. Okay, nobody wants to disclose the budget, and there are reasons for that.
Yeah. 2 days before the AFCON, I spoke to the communications director for the ministry, and he told me we should be focusing on very important things surrounding the Black Stars because the budget discussions will only disrupt the team's preparation, and also it was work in progress.
So demanding accountability disrupts the team?
I'm not sure they think that the budget, demanding the budget is demanding accountability for the general populace. They believe that it's for a few group of people, and you don't have the right to know how much has been budgeted for the national team. I think, and I believe also that the budget discussions will be shelved going forward. I'm sure it will become a classified document if they had the possibility of doing that. And like you are saying, it's become revolving because we have not been able to clamp down the manner in which the budget is done. There have been several committee reports. You remember the 2021 AFCON, there was a committee set by Parliament, and they were very clear that henceforth, the Ministry of Youth and Sport should never collaborate with the GFA in the preparation of the budget. You are well aware, you've been following a lot of the federations. There is an LI 1988, setting out how budget for the federations should be prepared. There is also the Sports Act 2016, Act 934, being clear on how the budget for all sporting federations, associations, and even schools should be prepared. Under no circumstance, and I repeat, the minister is aware, should the Ministry of Youth and Sports take budget from the GFA and approve and send it to the Finance Ministry. It should be properly interrogated. In fact, the budget should be prepared by the NSA together with the Sporting Federation. That is what
So the NSA's role has been sidelined in all of this.
They are completely out of it. Jamefe Committee was clear on that. The 2021 Parliamentary Committee has been clear on that. The laws have been bypassed. we are not adhering to the particular laws that sets out. So all the federations align with this.
Except GFA.
Except the GFA. Because they are all fans. So the best thing to do is to go to their guardians first before they are taken to the ministry. The ministry's role is never to approve budget. So there should be a deep-seated connivance. Rationally, why will you not adhere to your own laws?
Why would you be willing to break the law if
To
you don't
approve
have
of budget?
personal benefits?
Exactly. So people will speculate. And the assumption has been buttressed by committee reports, silent conspiracy theory. Nobody should know. Bring it and we will approve. Sometimes we will even bloat it and so go to the finance ministry, because if there are laws and we are not ready to adhere to these laws, journalists may not or may fight but may not be successful, because even the laws of the land have been broken. Why is the Ministry of Youth and Sports, not this particular minister and not the previous minister? This has been consistent.
Yeah.
Don't do this. The law says don't do this. So there are independent members, neutral experts, technocrats are supposed to be. If you look at the LI or the act setting up the NSA, the composition is supposed to be of experts, financial experts, committees and bodies from school sports up to the committees being
They should have every expertise in
of
there.
course. So they are supposed to put up the budgets of the federations, taking cognizance of the amount of money they get from, if it's football, say FIFA.
They are governing federations.
Of course, how much has been budgeted for the particular AFCON? So CAF will pay, say, $300,000. How much are you intending to spend on this and that? Because they are experts on the NSA board, they will be able to properly interrogate and probe and even make suggestions. But the ministry is making incursions into uncharted areas. And they have done this because that is the only area where you can prepare a budget. Because when you are following boxing and athletes, you don't see supporters, right?
No.
You don't see them budgeting for supporters
No.
or party people
No.
or budgeting for journalists.
No.
You don't see it.
Nope.
But football is the only area where you can make those incursions and be and go scot-free. So it's about breaking the law, and somebody should take this up. You understand? It's not about going on discussions. We should take this up and say, why are you breaking this particular law? Because I don't know if it's not human rights and it's against the state, but somebody in parliament will be able to take this up and go to the floor and say this has been broken consistently, and the ministers have refused to adhere to the laws.
On 14 February, yourself and a group of other journalists, Veronica Comey included, have gone to secure permission to stage a demonstration against, is it the GFA or the Ministry of Youth and Sports, or is it just an awareness creation?
Of course.
Enlighten me on that.
It's not against the GFA
particular
or the ministry, but about the declining states is becoming alarming. And I think we have been talking on radio, on TV. That's our role primarily, but we are citizens first and foremost, and the Constitution allows for freedom of assembly when you find interest, and it is entrenched when you see people advocating or walking on the street with permits that there are stray dogs in town too much, and you think it is of interest to you, you can join them. So we are working to create awareness, and mass protest in 2021 or in this century goes beyond just seeking the petitions that you've put on paper. Sometimes you win more than you ever assumed.
Yeah.
You are going on demonstration, and if you have 10 or 20 people, depending on their conduct and how they go about their activities, somebody somewhere will say, people are so much interested in football. I didn't know. I thought it was only the sports journalists. See police people, see bankers, see market women. I think it's an area that we can invest.
Absolutely.
So you went beyond that, but we want to create the awareness and to petition the respective quarters, bodies running the sports, particularly football, that time has come for us, because it is also timeous because of the situation now, to get the attention of the president, get the attention of the sports minister, who has attention already.
Not that they, exactly, that's what I was going to say. It's
course.
not that they are not aware already,
but
they just don't care.
I think that some of them believe it's only a few sports journalists who are making noise on radio, and they say it publicly to some of us.
Yeah,
that you are ranting.
That's it.
Even when you talk about budget or lack of
They
performance.
say we are backing like mad dogs.
Of course, you are backing like mad dogs. And so it's not a witch hunt. It's not something to go for the head of anybody. I am not interested in any position in the FA, neither the ministry or government or anywhere. I don't know for the others who are joining, but I find
I can tell you that I don't want any position at the GFA.
Exactly.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but to be very honest, the rates at which the national teams and especially football is declining requires an extraordinary circumstance. Talking has become normal and routine, and we think that's why you've invited me here, because if I was talking on my radio, you wouldn't have called me. There may be.
No, I've said you've been talking, so I've never invited
me.
Now you want to go and do demonstration. I have to bring you.
So it is special.
Yes.
Somebody may be listening today who has powers or influence in the corridors of power, and will say, yes, something is coming up. So that's it. I don't think we have any special interest, but to inform the requisite quarters that there is a decline, an alarming rate of our football, and if we are not careful, I saw your graph. People have been talking about science of football. You brought in the mathematics, the graph.
Yes.
Now we have descended at the level that we are. If it's mining, we are almost getting to the abyss of it. We are getting to
in mathematics terms, when the graph is there down there, what is that? It's like a dead person's heart rate.
Of course. So we are in the intensive care.
Yes.
On the graph.
Yes.
We will definitely descend to did not qualify. Then we will come to struggling to win the prelims.
Yes.
And it is possible because the graphs, the statistics don't lie.
We have said this before, Sadiq, and on this very program, that we take a lot of things for granted. We took going to the semi-finals for granted.
Of course.
Then it came to a time where we were taking qualification itself for granted. Then we went 2 consecutive tournaments. We got out in the group stages. And listen, it was a given that Ghana always qualified for the tournament at least with the game to spare. Yeah. What happened in the last qualifiers?
On the last day.
And even that one, it wasn't just
in the last 10 minutes.
Thank you. Before the last 10 minutes, we were not qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations. That is how serious the situation has become. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, Sadiq is still here. We'll lay down the issues in our football. He mentioned some of them. The budgetary issues are there, the development issues are there, and there's quite a lot of them. What are the issues we want people to be aware of? Gary Al-Smith has also joined us. He will also be sharing his opinion on this. Sicho is here, Daniel is here, and of course, Muftawu Nabila Abdullah is here as well. You're listening to Game Plan on 99.7 Joe FM, proudly sponsored by Petrosol. Good quality fuel enhances your vehicle performance and reduces maintenance costs. So take no risk in times like this. All you need is value for your money. Look no further. Drive to the next Petrosol fuel station for your clean, accurate quantity fuel suitable for new technology vehicles. Be a happy customer. Your clean fuel is here with Petrosol. Get it in full quantity. Petrosol, always a delightful experience. Also by DSTV. And DSTV is here. Catch all the action on the Africa Cup of Nations on HD on DSTV beginning from the 13th of January. Now we are in the quarterfinal stage with 2 games later tonight at 5 p.m. Nigeria in action against Angola. There's a game at 7 p.m. as well. All of that to come later today live on DSTV. Be assured of world-class studio analysis from our excellent pundits from across the continent. If you're on the move, don't worry. You can catch all the games also on DSTV Stream. You can download it from the Google or Apple store now and watch all the action. Remember, it's your AFCON moment. You can reconnect or stay connected on star 759 hash to enjoy the games. DSTV is your moment. And let me tell you about this. If you have a fear of speaking in public or freeze when you have to speak in front of an audience, then join Lady Sam's public speaking class on the 3rd of February 2024 from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's tomorrow. Let us help build your confidence. You can call them on 0501 518 477 for more information. 0501 518 477. Book your spaces now. I know Daniel Koranteng has benefited from that. I remember the first day they put him on Sports Panorama, your man was shaking. Right now, look at him talking with big confidence. Anyway, we'll be right back. To stay with us.
Across Africa, a new era has begun, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future. Together. EcoBank. A better way. A better Africa.
The only wise meal is in town. KFC Streetwise Deal. 2 crispy chicken pieces, large fries, 2 juicy tenders, 2 300 ml drinks, and it's cool enough to share. Yes, it's a KFC Streetwise 2, and it's finger licking good. Rush to any KFC outlet near you and grab your Streetwise Deal with your buddy at an affordable price. Dive into the ultimate sharing experience with 2 juicy chicken pieces, large fries, 2 tasty tenders, and not 1 but 2 300 ml drinks. KFC is finger licking good.
Welcome back. This is 99.7 Joy FM and 103.9 Hits FM. The show is Game Plan. We are on from now till 3 p.m. talking sports, and we're on the subject of Black Stars, Ghana sports in general, and the overall decadence that's now afflicted the industry. Like yesterday, Sichofe Philip Ashrim Daniel Koranteng, Sadiq Adams, Sports Obama, is our special guest today. Gary L. Smith is on the line on Zoom. Gary, how are you? Are you okay?
Fine, thank you, friends.
All good, huh? Are you joining the demonstration? Are you joining the demo?
I mean, as for us, we are Democrats, so wherever the party day, we step clean. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Thank you for joining us, Gary, as well.
We have to be there as part of our job. We have to be there as Ghanaians. You know, some of these moments are moments in history. You understand? They are historic moments. So you want to be there to observe, and they are moments that are potential events, things that you can say later in life. Where were you when, when they ask you, where were you when, you say, I was there, So, yeah, God willing, if we have life, yeah, definitely we'll be there.
Yeah, I was there, some. That's fine. All right. Listen, I'll bring you in, Gary, very shortly. But on the issue of the overall decadence in our football and how we can rescue it, Sadiq has been talking about the need to go beyond the talking and take action on the streets, obviously, because with regard to the talking, I don't think anybody, and I made this point on social media a few days ago, that I don't think there is any branch of journalism or branch of group of journalists in this country that has done more brave advocacy, more courageous advocacy than the sports journalists. And in fact, I repeat that if all other aspects of journalism or the other groups of journalists in Ghana, like the business journalists, were as tough and as critical as this, with the with the finance ministry and the Bank of Ghana as we are of the GFA and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, I think we'll be better off if the political journalists were as critical of the presidency as we are of the Ministry of Sport and the Ministry on the GFA. I think we'll be better off. So quite frankly, and this is not me praising ourselves, but I think in this country, if you're looking for a group of journalists that are brave, that are courageous, that are bold, and have put life on the line for the cause of the job, for the benefit of the job, it is sports journalists. Do we have some unscrupulous ones? Of course, every industry has some. But overall, the sports journalists in this country have done an enormous job over the years compared to all the others in the other industry. And I dare all the others in the other industry to come after me. I said it.
Look, friends, our senior, Michael Otieje, has been saying this for dogs years. The way we are sports journalists have gone after, and from the one newspaper days, from the days when it was only graphic sports, when it was then Graphic Sports and then Africa Sports. Then it became Graphic Sports, Africa Sports, Weekend Sports to, the proliferation where we have at the likes of 90 Minutes, All Sports, all these other papers, Ghana Sports, and then we started having the GBC radio days, plus the GBC, plus the Joy FM days as the first English one. Then we came to the proliferation of particularly the local language. Of course, there have been excesses, but putting the ministries of sport over the years, the Ghana Football Association, and things into account, I honestly don't think that what you are saying is far-fetched. Now, to the substance of the issue, what Sadiq was saying, I mean, I've been tuned in from the beginning of the show, Fent, and I actually like where the show started from. The trajectory of the AFCON, of Andre Ayew and his utility to the team, I think is the correct expression, right, Fent? His utility to the team, whether he should be retired or it is the coaches who know their job, and so if Andre is not on form, then he should not be called to the team and deny places to players who are doing better on form. It all crystallizes perfectly into where we are, Fent. And I think that if Sadiq and his crew, I don't know if they have a name for themselves yet. Karim, you're standing in front of the camera.
Yes, thank you. Gary, go on.
I don't know whether Sadiq and the group have a name for the group they have convened yet. So I just say Sadiq and Co. But right now, look, we have gone beyond the talking. And we all have friends in the high places of the sports ministry. All of us here seated can pick a phone and call at least the top 3 people at the sports ministry, and they will answer because they respect us. Pick a phone and call at least the top 3 people at the GFA. At least one of them will call and respect us. We have that relationship. Ideally, they will not like the fact that we have decided, or sports journalists have decided to go on demonstration. But right now, Fent, the problem is probleming. The problem is probleming, and the situation is situationing. Because you see, I've written not more than twice, or not less than twice on Twitter that even for us as sports journalists, and I'll be selfish here, Fent, when the sports teams of the country go down, whether it's football, whether it's hockey, assuming any of the teams that is sponsored by the Ministry of Sports attends a tournament abroad, right? And sports journalists need to go. If the teams don't qualify, a sports journalist usually cannot go. Why? Because your media house will say that, but what are you going to do there when Ghana is not there? It is only on rare occasions that your media house will say that, Ghana is not there, but you take money and go and cover. Because most of the time, the audience will not even be interested. You see,
true.
That was the situation in the 2018 World Cup, where we had only 2 Ghanaian journalists, because many media houses will not take, they know that the World Cup is a big deal. But what is the direct news value they are getting for their media houses? And so for us, this is also a selfish enterprise. Friends, you understand? Beyond the national interest,
absolutely,
it is also a selfish enterprise, because the more the Black Stars sink, the more the Meteors sink, more the Satellites sink, the Queens sink, and the Boxers sink. In the last few years, Joy Sports has been blessed with the opportunities to attend a lot of boxing bouts. Nathaniel Ato has been going for some, one has Mensa under here, but all because Ghanaian boxers were there, from Dogbe to Komi, to what's the other guy's name? Oh, this guy. The other boxer that we had.
Dogbe, Komi.
But the people at the top, brother,
I've forgotten the name of the other guy. He has stopped fighting recently. But friends, that's the point I'm making. So you see, when people are listening to us, it is not that we don't have anything better to do. And secondly, for me, after the AFCON, I think this is the first time, maybe I'm having, what's the name of that thing Cicho says? Recency bias, right? Maybe
Yes.
this is the first time, or recency bias is making me say that this is the first time in a long time that we have seen a public clamor for a demonstration against the GFA and the sports ministry. I do not think I have seen a concerted public clamor like I have heard in the past 2 weeks before. And I think, guess what? This is my theory. Because there was a demonstration in October, you see, even though a lot of ordinary people didn't attend that demonstration, I was there from the beginning to the end. The people who went on the demonstration were those whose interest it served. Let's be frank. You understand? However, I think that because people saw and have seen that it was possible, because the likes of multimedia gave it full coverage, people have realized that, this thing, we can do it. I don't know the error version. Sicho and Mr. Tamakloe, help me. I don't know how they say it in Ever.
What?
You understand? It is possible. Well, how do you say it?
It is possible, it is doable.
Well, how do you say it is possible in Ever?
He says,
Yes.
Something.
That's the last thing I want to say. That people, the reason why people are saying this is that they have seen that it is possible. The October demonstration might not have had 5,000 people, but I think that you see sometimes when we do things, we think people are not watching, and because people have done it, I won't say that what Sadiq and Co are giving us reasons. All the reasons may not make 100% sense to me. You understand? I do not have to agree with every single one of the petition points that they will present to whoever they will present to. However, do I believe that even though the GFA members vote themselves, remember, none of us can go and vote in GFA elections because we don't have any locals there. However, I strongly believe that the GFA and the sports ministry are also creations of mass action. They listen to mass action. They are affected by mass action. And so if they see that enough of the people of Ghana who they say they serve are unhappy with the things they are doing, the way they are voting, the way they are spending money on our behalf, they would listen. Even if they don't listen today, the next time they are taking decisions, they will listen. Thanks. And so that's my submission.
Very well. Thank you, Gary. Daniel, what are the issues here? Because the issues plenty. We have sunk solo in our football, and not just in our football, it's sports in general, that the outrage about the budget makes a lot of sense. Yesterday, you and I had a conversation, and you were laying down some issues and even some of the commentary around the budget and why you feel the GFA stand or some of the members of GFA stands makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all, especially when you watch the you look at the letter and you look at the dates of the letter, and then you look at the corresponding comments that were made. And I'm addressing Achi's comments when he says that a budget is intended expenditure.
Fred Achi, the ESCO member,
Yes.
executive council member.
If it is intended expenditure, then that comment will make sense if probably the letter was dated around the time where we had switch camps or something. You can say that maybe it was an adjusted budget. But the 12th January that is on the letter, that's where my problem is. Competition started on 13th. Ghana was in Ivory Coast on the 10th of January. So if anything was going to be adjusted, we should have seen it in some of the figures that were there. But it wasn't. So you can't tell me that 2 days into the start of the competition or a day before the start of the competition, that's now when you are going to start adjusting a budget, when you've already spent 10 days in Ghana instead of going to South Africa. So there are some inconsistencies there, especially with what the GFA people are saying. But
especially on a figure like preparation money, because the preparation for the tournament came up to the tune of 1.3 million, and this money was released on the 12th of January, by which time we were already in Cote d'Ivoire. So nobody can convince you that that 1.3 is now intended expenditure, because by that 12th you had already finished preparing.
Preparation.
So that has to be actual expenditure. If not, then why are you taking it?
If not, why are you taking it? And that's where my problem is. My friends, look, I have to do this thing. I have to do this thing quickly.
Go on.
My heart has sunk even lower this week. And it's like it keeps on happening almost every time the Black Stars has an assignment, because there are so many contradictory statements. And remember when at the start of the discussion, Sadiq said something, And I said, typical FA. You say one thing, you do another thing. And it is not just the FA. It is a problem with leadership in this country. It's not like they don't know the right thing. You say the right things, but when it comes to doing it, then you do the exact opposite. So I want my Pentecost elder to read a quick scripture for me.
Sicho is your Pentecost elder.
Yes.
Sicho, go on.
Please, I've not made an elder yet, but
Matthew
I was called to be a
25.
deacon.
Okay.
Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30. Do it quickly for me.
Matthew 25, 14 to 30. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country.
Thank you.
Who called his own servants and delivered his goods to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability. And immediately he went on his journey. Then he who had received 5 talents went and traded with them, and made another 5 talents. And likewise, he who had received 2 gained 2 more also. But he who had received 1 went and dug in the ground and hid his Lord's money.
Okay.
After a long time, the Lord of those servants came and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, Lord, you delivered to me 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things, and I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord.
That's right.
He also had received 2 talents. He who also had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, you delivered to me 2 talents. Look, I have gained 2 more talents besides them. His Lord said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over the few things, and I will make you ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of your Lord.
Thank you.
Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you have not sown, and gathering where you have not scattered seed. And I was afraid and went and hid the talent in the ground. Look, there you have what is yours. But his Lord answered and said to him, you wicked and lazy servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gathered where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and at my coming I would have received back my money with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But from him who does not have, even what he has will be taken away. And cast unprofitable servants into the outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Thank you very much, my elder.
That says the very much.
My elder,
So even this is the parable of the talents.
Yes.
So even the last man who dug returned
At least the 1.
Yeah. So Danny, the FA doesn't even fit. I'm looking for the one who actually ate the talent.
Mama, you spoiled it.
No, they kept it and returned the one.
Okay.
I'm looking for one who ate the talent and said, my Lord, I was hungry.
Charlie, look, Fent, when you listen to this scripture, this is us. This is Ghana. This scripture is showing you the importance of developing what you have.
Yes.
And it's a guarantee that when you develop it, you gain more. Look at all the other countries who are taking sports seriously. How they put in facilities, infrastructure, they train athletes, they train coaches, and they are reaping the benefits at the top. Not just by winning medals, but it's also having a direct translation into what is happening in their economy. So even those who are not even interested in sports are reaping the benefits of sports because the country has invested enough in sports to make sure that it is a part of the collective. So when we are reaping the benefits, everybody will, even those who are not interested in football, will be chopping football money, not knowing that they are chopping football money.
Agreed.
On Wednesday, 1st August 2018, the then Deputy Sports Minister, this is a publication from City Sports Online.
Who wrote that story? Who wrote that story?
Daniel Koranteng wrote the story. Deputy Sports Minister Pius Hajide reiterates government's commitment to sports development. Now, in that story, he's quoted as saying, this government will prioritize sports development over sports promotion. You know what he means by promotion. When it's time for competition, then you can't collect money, then you travel. They are going to develop sports, invest more in sports development. 1st September 2020, this is from footballghana.com. Government is committed to develop sports infrastructure. Isaac Esiama, that was the then sports minister. In the quote, he says, sports thrives on infrastructure and this government is committed to building infrastructure for its development. Now, fast forward to 15th January 2023, my jaw online, story by Fred Kwame Asari. The headline is Work Resumes on Volta Regional Youth Resource Center. Now, in the story, he says the Chief Executive Officer of the National Youth Authority, Pius Enam Hajide, during a working visit, explained that government decided to concentrate on completing 5 of the facilities, taking into consideration financial strength. That's the part I've highlighted, financial strength. Now, this is the quote. In 2021, a decision was taken that we should focus on the 5 youth resource centers and complete them, clearly because of resource limitations. It was becoming difficult for us to complete, according to schedule, all the 10 resource centers. Now, this story also, in October last year, 2023, my Joe Online, story written by Daniel Koranteng, financial constraints stalled the renovation of the Azuma Nelson Sports Complex. Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf, it was during the Meet the Press. He said, we had financial constraints which affected the construction of the Azuma Nelson Sports Complex. That's the quote. Now, Azuma Nelson Sports Complex is just one of the 10 that were supposed to have been built. Construction started in 2018. It was supposed to be done within a 9-month period. Now, each was estimated to cost $1.8 million. $1.8 million. As of today, 6 years after the start of construction, only one has been commissioned. Only one. Now, when you state financial constraints as reasons why it has prolonged, then I'll give you another scripture. My elder, please go to Luke 14,
I was actually Googling that
verse 28 and 29. Luke 14, 28 and 29.
Elder, hurry up. You don't know your Bible.
Luke 14, 28 to 29.
That's right.
For which of you, intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it?
Thank you.
Lest, after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all who see it begin to mock him.
We'll mock you. Because at the start, you told us how much the estimated cost was. You told us how long it would take to complete it.
Yes.
9 months has turned into 6 years. And in 6 years, only 1 out of 10 has been completed. Now, this is a government, or these are leaders who have told us that they are committed to sports development. Sports development infrastructure is a key part of sports development.
That's right.
Till today, only 1. Now, what reason did the GFA give as to why they wanted to go to South Africa instead
they
of
want
lack of facilities and privacy?
Yes.
If you had constructed your 10 resource centers, if you had invested in finishing the pram, you wouldn't have complained about a lack of facilities. When we were going
you
to
had
the
enough
Olympic
time to
Games,
do it.
Thank you. When we were going to the Olympic Games, our athletes, the Ghana Athletics, they said at the time they needed $30,000.
Yes.
$30,000 for proper preparation. They got $10,000. Only $10,000 from the sports
French
ministry.
embassy.
And the sports ministry told them there was no money. That's what they were told. There was no money. So out of a $30,000 budget request that they had given, they got only $10,000. And then we saw first round they are out, triple jumper out, 100 meters out, 200
4x4
injured. We couldn't complete nothing. But these are leaders are telling us they are very focused and very committed when it comes to sports development. Saying one thing and doing the complete opposite. Yet when it comes to the Black Stars, miraculously there's $8.5 million readily available in a space of 10 days. they can quickly gather $8.5 million.
Yeah.
Now, $8.5 million, if you look at the cost of the 10 resource centers, 1.8, it can build at least 4 by the end of this year. From scratch.
So what they have done now, it could actually complete it.
It could actually have completed it and we would have had change.
Because they've done some work.
They've done some work.
So 8.5 million could actually finish them all.
Black Stars, we could have completed the 10 resource centers, 10 multi-purpose resource centers, 1 in each region. And would have had change. And the change would have been enough and sufficient for the Black Stars to take to Ivory Coast and go out in the group stages.
You are right. If it is group stages, you want to go out. Because that has become the norm.
It would have been perfectly enough. Now, let's go back and let's crash some of the figures. The 10,000 that the ministry gave to the Ghana Athletics to prepare their athletes for
Hungary.
No, that was Tokyo. Tokyo
Olympics.
Olympics. The 10,000 they gave to the whole Ghana Athletics to prepare all the athletes. One player in the Black Stars would have received that as qualification bonus, because 30,000 30,000 divided by 30,000 divided by 3 is 10K. So for one match, add the 3, that's 30,000.
So you are saying that one player's qualification bonus could have paid for Ghana Athletes 3 times over.
3 times.
So wait, you are telling me that Gideon Mensah can prepare our athletes for 3 Olympics?
Simple, quick. And they'll have proper.
Don't even look at the qualification bonus. Look at their
appearance fee.
Appearance fee.
20K.
Just for showing up.
At least the qualification, they didn't collect it. The appearance they took.
The appearance fee is in your account.
So now let's look at the inconsistencies. From 2018, for 6 years, the primary reason as to why we've not been able to finish infrastructure, for leaders who have told us that their heart is tied to sports development, is financial constraints. But in 10 days, they can whip up $8.5 million cash for a 3-week. It was even 3 weeks. It was 2 weeks, group stages.
Yeah.
2 weeks. 10 days to the AFCON and come back. Now, when you say one thing and you do the other thing, and you are not developing, and you are wondering why you are not reaping results. Now, this problem is not just a Black Stars problem. Look at our sports. Athletics, when we go to Olympics, we don't do anything. Boxing, when was the last time we had a world champion?
We took 11 or so boxers to Senegal to compete for qualification to the Olympic Games. This is Ghana.
Freezy.
In Ghanaian boxers, we went to Senegal to compete with other African athletes for qualification to the Olympic Games. Daniel Koranteng, the best we did was get bronze. We did not secure a single qualification.
Okay. They beat Breezy McBooms. They beat them Poto.
No, it's bad. Think about it. In Africa, we cannot qualify to the Olympic Games as at an African qualifying event.
But we call ourselves a boxing nation. We call ourselves a footballing nation. Look, God will bless you with raw talent. And even with the FIFA transfer report, we've seen it. The number of players that are leaving the shores of Ghana and going outside, the number of Ghanaian talents that are being traded, God will bless you with the talent. But if you don't develop it, and then you look at the figure that is by the number of Ghanaian players who have been transferred, that money will not come to you. Other people will benefit from it. Because if I bless you, and you are not developing, you are definitely never going to reap the benefits. So he calls that person what? Wicked and lazy. Our leaders are wicked and lazy. Because I'm not the one who came to say that I have sports development at my heart. And I didn't say it too. They have said it consistently.
And you didn't point a gun at them.
And I didn't force you. You came to tell me. And you've been saying this thing over years. But yet still, we are still not benefiting because we are still not developing the sports. Then we come and sit down here and are lamenting over why we are not getting results.
We deserve what we are getting.
We are wicked and lazy.
Sicho, I'll come to you. I want you to hold on with me. Let me go to my guest again because I dragged him out from home to come all the way here.
Who?
Sadiq.
Yes. Sicho, talk. Am I a guest here? You dragged me from where? No, let him.
I wanted us to move away from this subject a little bit. That's why. But Sicho, Sadiq says you can talk. Where do you stand on all of this? I know the issues are so many, but I need you to pick it from one angle for me.
Fentuo, the issues are not many.
Okay.
It's a simple matter of wickedness. No, and listen, for me, on this score, the FA should rest. We know the FA is terrible. They don't look like they have the capacity and the know-how to manage their own league, which is for their own clubs. The FA is bad. They have a bad president, they have a bad structure, they have a bad system. The FA is terrible. So we've established that they are very bad, extremely bad.
See the way you have dismissed them.
No, the FA is bad. It is very bad. They run their own league.
This hurts.
They are very, very bad. And they are listening. They know they can't look me in the face and tell me they are doing a good job. They are terrible. So Mr. Katakreko and his people, they are arrogant, they are terrible, they are bad. I'm speaking the facts.
Okay, no
they
problem.
Are bad.
No problem.
No, the FA is not bad.
Sorry?
Is the FA not bad?
I mean, there's some good in there.
Mention them.
The FA supervised an under-17 women's team that will have 3 generations who won't have a chance to play at the 17 level.
What happened there? They got
because
banned.
of age cheating, they've been banned.
And nobody paid the price for it.
Nobody. No, absolutely nobody.
Not even an apology to the Ghanaian people.
Listen, I don't even want to get into the FA, so let them rest. Listen.
I mean, they're taking up burial fee for Jamune's funeral. Muftawu agrees it's a good thing.
Let's talk about serious matters.
They said they're spending $100,000. They said they are spending $100,000 on footballs for D1, D2.
Who else will be doing that for them?
Look. When the FA goes to Congress,
all right, Sijo, you go
and they have their members sitting there, they don't discuss anything development. They don't even bring anything meaningful to they discuss.
Did you see the promises from the last Congress?
They discuss football boots to share and then balls to share.
Yeah.
But when you talk about FAs, this FA, they are very, very bad.
Okay.
So let's not.
Your opinion is noted.
It's a fact. The records are there. They're not doing a good job. If you mark them, they won't get even. They don't even get.
Don't get 3 over 10.
It's not an opinion. They told us they had overachieved. You are achieving with 2 AFCONs under your tenure without winning the game.
Now when you say like that, that's bad.
You're bad.
No, they've won 1 game.
2 AFCONs, they've not won a game.
Hey, Muftawu, where are you getting
2
the win
AFCOns.
from?
See, when I speak, that is why people on Twitter, when I tweet and they come back, I give it to them. When I speak, all right,
listen,
I absolutely know what I'm putting out there. They are bad. Now, the reason why I don't want to talk about the FA on this matter is that they don't pay themselves when it comes to the Black Stars. They don't even carry the money when it comes to the Black Stars.
That's true.
When they present the budget, they don't approve it.
That's true.
In fact, they don't disburse the money.
No.
The ministry would have its accountant on site to disburse what they have to disburse in cash.
They call them purse holders. They travel with the team.
So when it comes to the Black Stars, as bad as the FA are, they don't have the final say. And this is why, for me, if the Black Stars are not doing well, I expect some Ghanaians to be happy. Because there's a Ghanaian sitting somewhere whose brother is a boxer, whose friend is an athlete, whose sister is a very good swimmer. But because we have a wicked system, their talents will not grow. Their talents will perish. They will not be successful athletes. Why should such a person support the Black Stars, a player who hasn't kicked the ball, to receive 20,000 when the sister needs 5,000 to prepare? Do you get it? Yeah. Why is it that in this country we have disregard for everything unless it directly benefits us? And that is why I'm saying that if the people releasing these funds are not benefited directly from the funds they are releasing, what is the motivation for a country that is broke to sign off $8.5 million US for a tournament that will return 7 million? Even that is if they win it. Who are the Black Star players that you can't look them in the face and tell them that this year we don't have money, so we won't pay A, we won't pay B. In the years that we have money, we will give you what you need. But as for this year, we are at IMF. We don't have cash. We are cash. So as for your appearance bonus or appearance fee, forget it. As for your bonus, it can be this, it can be that. What is it about these Black Stars that our leaders can't look them in the face? Why are we paying all this nuisance tax as those of us living in this country with the excuse that we don't have money, we need to generate money from taxes?
Charlie.
But you can't tell the Black Stars that we don't have money, so you won't pay these monies.
The government is taxing you for emission, but they have not provided public transport for you, but they don't want you to use your car.
You see, it is wicked. It is very wicked. And you see, I said it the last time. I'm a very spiritual person. You see, when the day Ayew gets a red card that another player would have walked away from when he gets a red card against Comoros, that foul, till now I don't see the red card. When the day Ayew gets a penalty against Uruguay and has scored all his penalties in training and misses that one. When Richard Ofori, a ball that he shouldn't be there, he shouldn't be touching. Some way, somehow, his hand is elongated than usual to touch a ball he shouldn't touch.
While somebody is screaming, Jai,
don't take these things for granted. The spirit of the people.
When Inaki sees a sea of whites and passes into a red.
Oh, Ghanaians, forget.
Ghanaians don't back these people. We are hurt. Ghanaians don't back these things. And that's what I'm saying. People are happy the Black Stars are not doing well. Don't take it for granted.
No, it's true.
When Inaki Williams has no business of playing, although in here, corner near, throw near, but Mamouche. When Bukari has no business of doing what, something miraculously happens. But
Going to score
2-2. You see, when some of these things are
He's
happening,
dribbling towards his goal.
Yeah.
don't take these things for granted. It is simply because we are so wicked that the joy people will get from associating themselves with the Black Stars has turned into pain and tears. Because like I said, all the other athletes in all the other disciplines are also Ghanaians. But we are so wicked, we show them no respect, no regard, and we only, some way, somehow, as Danny said, magically manufacture money for them to go into a tournament we know we don't have the money for, but to spend 8.5 million for. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, fair enough. Sadiq, we can complain and complain and complain. Mm-hmm. What next? What has to happen? Who has to do what?
I think with sports, other jurisdictions have been clear, especially countries who are doing well. You can see from where the power lies in terms of decision making and supervisory roles. England, even in Africa, Morocco and other countries, you have to get people who are very close to the corridors of power and who have the willingness to ensure that impact is made. I don't see that with the right ideas. Yes, I don't see that with the ministers who have been appointed in recent times. And you can go back and check from Nkrumah's days and the policies which are still public anyway, and how it impacted on the growth of our sports.
Yeah.
How the president had the political will to use sports as an economic and political tool, and which got the fruits. When the elections are held and appointments are made, you can clearly see how the sports ministers are picked.
And who is picked?
And who? How? Because you can debate about Minister of Education. They say, oh, there is a man who has been teaching in US. He has practical knowledge of education and he's on radio telling you how to develop kids with STEM education and all that. He tries to prove to you that I even have a STEM school in my constituency and I'm starting. So, and he makes a case. You go to energy and they say, this man has been here. He did well. And so when you come to sports, what I have seen from recent appointment is, okay, then let's find someone who hasn't gotten a position from this constituency so that we balance the regional thing. Of course.
Are you saying the sports ministers are appointed as an afterthought?
Well, I understand there is a regional balance and all that, so
that goes into the appointment.
That's how it compensates for who comes to sports. And they don't have the practical knowledge because there are ministers who don't even know that FIFA gives this amount of money and they are not ready to check.
I don't even think they know that CAF actually gives the countries preparation money as well. And
some of them don't know that CAF pays for transport, accommodation. There was a minister who didn't know all this. It's in our budgets. CAF pays for. There has been a member of the GFA, vice president of the committee, who met a minister. They formed a committee because of public outcry that they need to restructure the bonus system. The vice president of the current FA, he was the chairman of the bonus restructuring
committee. Yeah.
And they removed this appearance fees to the management. They said they need to pay them some token that will be discussed, but they don't need to be paid appearance fee. Yeah. The next World Cup, that same chairman who restructured the bonuses took $100,000 in the face of the ministry.
Dear Lord.
The person who led the committee to restructure bonuses. So
and recommended that.
When I say they are bad, you are finding excuses.
You understand? You are wicked. So where is your moral right to tell a player that he doesn't deserve? You have restructured the bonus to say the management members are only on a sacrificial job.
Yeah.
Their hotels paid, per diem paid,
free match tickets,
everything, with including business class tickets. So we pay you all that. So you are only going to be paid some stipend for your stay with the team, because it's even a privilege. That's why seconds rejected. Because I'm following these boys, I'm supposed to advise them. You pay for everything that I require here. So why do I need to take $100,000 when you don't have a single training pitch in the whole country standard?
That can be built by one person's appearance fee.
Can be built by one person. If we are honest, 100,000 can actually transform the surface of Accra Sports Stadium pitch.
Agreed.
If you give it to an honest person. And we don't have. We paid 600,000. Do you know that we have reinvented the coefficient theory again?
To share money.
Yes, four management members were in Brazil, Qatar.
In Qatar, yeah.
But they paid for 6. That's what Alhaji Guza has been on that chase. So something that was bad.
They paid for 6, but like the name you mentioned said he didn't want it, so he left it.
Oh no, I'm saying
that's what he's saying. He's just saying that only 4 were there.
According to the commission's report, if 4 of you attend, only the 4 of you should be paid.
Of
because
course.
you are working. They paid for 6 just because they have to take part of their appearance fees for whoever. So everything that happens at the Black Stars is because people are making money. Can you sincerely tell me that Inaki Williams' motivation for playing for the Black Stars is to get $20,000?
Absolutely not.
So where is the motivation from to pay him $20,000 to perform? Semenyo, Odoi. Many of these players are not here because they want to be paid.
And especially $20,000.
Of course. If you watch Inaki Williams speak about the pride of representing a country at the World Cup, that alone is enough. I'm not saying he shouldn't be paid, but some of these players are shocked. They have a cultural shock of receiving that amount of money playing for their national team.
But we have to pay them to justify our own payments.
To provide a buffer that we also deserve. Because if you don't pay them, where is your moral right to take?
Agreed. So and that's why they pay journalists too and take them and take supporters.
So that
they can say
they don't come back and talk.
Yes.
So you go and you take journalists on road. I don't want to assume that they are doing it because they want to shut them up.
It's the buffer you spoke about. They do it to justify their own action.
If you are an honest journalist, this is even a more opportunity for you to speak.
Of course.
Because you are part of the budget.
Of course.
You cannot interrogate it properly if you are not part. So they have imputed that you are part. And they are paying 8.5 million.
Yeah.
You count your numbers. Morocco brought over 200 journalists.
Yes.
Because they have a role that we are not saying we are shutting you up, but it is a training.
Yes.
This country sends economic journalists to Japan and
all the time. World Economic Forum, they send them to Davos, they send them everywhere.
But if you come back, $100 or $500 or $1,000 that they give you should not be enough to gag you.
It should not be meant to gag you.
It's not meant. So if you take journalists on road for 10 hours to Cote d'Ivoire.
No, it's not 10 hours, it's longer.
Of course. And if you are a journalist and you come back and you see
like
$8.5 million and you say you will not talk.
Because you got $400 or $500.
The
Something's wrong with you.
So that it's a budget. It's a budget. So it's not spent. No, the intention.
Yeah.
When it comes to crime, it is the intent.
Yes.
The intention is that this is how much you require.
Yeah, not just the action.
So when you say it is a budget, you have prepared. If they gave to you, you would have chopped.
A shock.
So when people make this argument that, don't talk about it, we are looking at the expenditure, it's just a budget.
Doesn't make sense.
You have put this down over weeks that you need this. You are going to school, you say they should buy you this, they should buy you that. You've put everything down, given to your dad, that you want this. He wants to probe, you say it's just a budget.
Because the argument is that, do you really need that amount?
Exactly.
Because that is the argument. You intended to spend this amount.
The people are here, no.
Yes, and
if
the people
open the door. I mean,
So
Abisa,
they-
And do you need it?
Yes, the question of the budget is,
Do you
you
need
said
it?
his budget intended. Why did you intend to spend this much?
That is
It
why I
speaks
agree
to
with-
your
I
mentality.
agree with Sicho that it is criminal and wicked. We are purely wicked because we are coming back, and the FA's justification for not camping here. Look, in 2012-2013, before the AFCON, we camped in UAE for $1.1 million for 10 days. $1.1 million.
Oh my God.
For 10 days. And we complain 15 years or 14 years later that we don't have a pitch here. Serene enough for our players to camp. And who do they expect when they complain? They want the GPRTU to invest their profit in football or what? Or it is Nagrat that is supposed to come and build their complex for them. Exactly. Every Mino on the continent has seen that planning and getting sustainable investment is the only way forward for football development. When you call players in the under 15, because of your incompetence, you cannot even camp them for 2 weeks. So you call 50 or 100 players, first batch, second batch 100, third batch 100. At the end of the day, 200 players. Then this under 15 players, 5 or 4 years later, they are supposed to transition to under 20. You call under 20 players and 100 of them, not a single one from under 15. That is the real picture of failure.
Bad. No, where's the planning?
No, that is the real picture of failure. That you have 200 players from under 15, and in 4 years, you call under 20 players, not a single one from under 15. But these players will be called by Right to Dream, Feyenoord, Cheetah. 5 years later, we will go to Europe and beg them to come and play.
Yeah.
So we are only choosing the quick fixes and easy approach. I think that when you are the president of the Ghana Football Association, it's now becoming one of the easiest jobs because you get paid. Your executive council members get paid.
For no work done.
For no work done, for no policy. It is 4 years, 5 years for Keto Kreku, right?
Yes, now.
I have not seen any revamping of the national complex.
Nothing.
Even our under 17 players who can be.
Are you talking about the one in Winneba or the one in Pram Pram?
Both.
Both, exactly.
Under 17 players are supposed to be malleable. You can influence them to sleep even on student mattress 2-2.
At one time, not too long ago, they went to a camp and got malaria. Did they not?
The
Pram
medical
Pram.
committee of the GFA prepared the report and gave it to the FA that the place is not habitable for human. Their medical committee, led by Dr. Pambo.
Yes.
You build up a place for human beings and they tell you it is not habitable for human.
Imagine. And yet, that's where we keep the women all the time.
Of course.
This is my other issue.
And end up not paying their bonuses when they do well.
it
pay the Black Stars budget with their
account. You pay their money through their account.
Development
start
account.
with that's. I agree also with Sicho. Now I don't even want to focus on the GFA. They are higher bodies.
Yes.
Who are supposed to play their role of supervising the FA. You read from England where the sports minister said the FA will be forced to reform. If they don't reform, they will cut budget allocation to them. Because the FA knows they can't build stadium. They know they can't pay for their national teams. They know they can't cater for some of the most expensive, especially grassroots football. And they need it to compete with other top-level countries.
Yes.
So they need the government support. The government doesn't even have a sports policy plan. So the minister only takes money and gives it to the FA. They go to spend it. Boxers come. They need just a fraction of that to prepare. But all these federations are equal in the eyes of the law.
Israel Edem,
Yeah.
he says, and this is the point you just made, we ask our athletes to go to competitions and win medals before we give them money. Why do we pay the Black Stars prior to even kicking a ball?
If you don't pay them, now the management committee and the GFA have become aware, including the ministry. I say the ministry because the reports from Parliament and Damefe and others have said that they are quite sure from their findings that there is a connivance between the ministry, even to the extent of the finance ministry.
Yeah.
They all get benefit from the World Cup and AFCON budgets.
Yes.
That's why they approve some of the most unscrupulous budgets that they prepare. So if a country like Ghana prepares a budget of 8.5 million and the management and GFA have become aware that the team is not good, we have to wait till the final to get our bonuses if we set that performance enhancing target. It means that we get to the semi-final before we pay them. If we don't get there, we have lost. We are also here for profit. We are not here because we genuinely love the team.
Yes.
The management is there because of profit. So they have to pay first because they know they will lose.
Why should we even have management?
Some of them are aware.
And that is, again, the wickedness Sitio and Daniel talk about.
The team knows, the management knows the team may not progress. Because in the past, when you follow Ghana, you know that it is sure that you are going to semi-final. So if you get to semi-final and they pay you $40,000 as winning bonus, you take yours as management. Now they know the team cannot progress. They are aware.
Hey.
So they have to pay beforehand. They kick a ball. So the management will not kick a ball, but they have paid. Where is the motivation? I am going to play. I've not even kicked a ball, but I get $30,000. So if I'm a footballer who needs money as motivation, where is the motivation again? There's no cap. The entire structure of the GFA, they pay themselves with the FIFA grants. Any money
that's where their salary is from.
Yes. And then when they need money for infrastructure and tournaments, they go to government. So the FIFA grants 8.5 million. Kurt alone has gotten over $25 million in the last few years from COVID relief to the.
They got a lot of money.
Where is it?
They use it to buy footballs.
If in 2024, your top clubs, Fent, this one breaks my heart. Your top clubs, Premier League, if in 2024, where countries are building medical sports labs,
yes,
research into sports injuries and complexes, your top clubs require footballs,
and
football,
boots. And boots. And boots.
2024.
It's heartbreaking, Sadiq. It's heartbreaking. And the worst of it is that our top Ghana Premier League player, striker, who was invited to the national team and went to the Africa Cup of Nations, right after that, he moves abroad. And where does he go? Libya.
Lamptey has got some rumors coming around him that a team.
We are on the subject of Jonathan Sowa now.
Yes, I'm saying Lamptey too. The two of them were there. I'm saying Lamptey too.
He's going
There's
to
a rumor about him
Moldova.
going to where?
Moldova. Petroku.
Fantastico.
Sadiq Adams, Sports Obama. Thank you for joining us. Gary Al Smith joined us via Zoom. Sicho Philip Atrim. Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
the 14.
Yes.
We have another show before then.
We are working.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we have another show before then. Next Friday. We'll all be there. Obra Sport is where it's beginning. Yes. So you're listening to us. You have an interest in the sports. On 14th, Valentine's Day, start your day by working with all of us. We'll all be there. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Sicho. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Sadiq Adams. Thank you, Muftawu, Nabila Abdullah. My name is Fentuo. Tahiru Fentuo. Thanks for listening. This show will be available as a podcast on all podcast platforms. It will also be on the Joy News YouTube channel a little later. It's proudly sponsored by Petrosol on DSTV, of course. Remember, it was live on 99.7 Joy FM and hits 103.9 FM. We're back again next Friday. Until then, take care of yourself and enjoy.